Story 1. My father has perfect vision and severe allergies. My mother has poor vision and no allergies. My sister and I both have bad vision and moderate allergies. Story 2. My dad has beautiful black curly hair. I still have curly hair from my mom, but it is a dusty blonde color. My dad's hair was thick and fantastic until his 60s. I will say my mother gave me the most beautiful eyes, and I am forever grateful for that. Story 3. I basically have my father's face. It looks better on a man. I would have given up my prominent cheekbones for a smaller nose and more delicate features. I would have liked to be shorter too, like my mother. But my father was a much better parent, so I am actually glad I resemble him more. Many people mention breast size, but my mother did not have large breasts either. That trait came from my father's side of the family. The one thing I did inherit from my mother is being very slender. Story 4. My mom is in her 60s and still has perfect vision. My dad got glasses in the 3rd grade but probably needed them earlier. I, however, got glasses at the age of 8 months and it has been downhill ever since. Story 5. I admired my father's ability to eat all kinds of food and sit all day without becoming obese. I wish I had that. Story 6. I did not get my mother's veins. They are perfect. She is a phlebotomist's dream. I inherited her father's veins instead, which are generally an annoyance whenever I have to have blood drawn. Story 7. My dad is 6 feet 4 inches tall, and unfortunately the tallness gene skipped me because I am only 5 feet 7 inches. My son inherited all of that height and at 19 is nearly as tall as his grandfather. Story 8. Wish I had my mom's breasts, but it turns out they are not real. I cried when I found out as a tween because that meant I would never get any. Story 9. Smaller nostrils. My biological father had a big nose. My mother's is smaller and slimmer. I wish I had her nose. Story 10. It would have been nice if I did not inherit my mom's body type. I do not know. My dad can build muscle pretty well, but my mom's side not so much. Unfortunately, I fall into the not so much category. Story 11. My mom's brain or both my mom and dad's brain. My dad was a certified public accountant, and my mom taught mathematics at Grand Valley State University. She earned her doctorate and Doctor of Philosophy in mathematics at Michigan State University. Story 12. My dad is really tall with a thin build. He has long arms and legs. He and my mom were in the same class in high school, and last summer they had their 50th class reunion. Many of their classmates said, "Your dad looks exactly the same." I hope when I am almost 70 people say that about me. Story 13. Both my mother and father had brown eyes. My mother had black hair, and my father had brown hair. My brother and I have brown eyes and brown hair, while my sister had the double recessive genes for blue eyes and blonde hair. That would have been so cool. Story 14. Not my experience, but my dad is 6 feet tall. My grandfather was 6 feet 8 inches. One uncle is 6 feet 5 inches, 3 years younger than my dad. And another uncle is 6 feet 3 inches, also younger. Of course, my brothers and I are 5 feet 8 inches or shorter. I do not care much, but my younger cousin is taller than me. Story 15. Finally got one. Both my parents had smaller average feet. Mom was short at 5 feet 2 inches, and dad was 5 feet 9 inches. I ended up being 6 feet tall with big feet. Good thing I like to swim. Both my brother and sister have smaller feet, and so does my son. Story 16. 10 years ago, I would have said that I wish I had gotten the skinny jeans, but I am pretty happy having big everything. I think I am all right. Maybe better feet. I have rat toes. Story 17. The father had blue eyes, blonde hair, and a big nose. The mother had brown hair and eyes with a squarish nose. I have brown hair and eyes and a large square nose. Thank you both. Story 18. My father is absolutely impressive. My mother's side is much less so. Actually, the exact middle ground between both would have been perfect. Story 19. I wish I had my mother's nose and breasts. I don't want double D, but C cup would have been nice, along with her straight hair. Story 20. My mom had better than 20/20th's vision when she was younger. They used 20/40 for her. I am basically a carbon copy of my dad, so it is no surprise that I need glasses. Story 21. My mom's breasts are around an A cup, maybe B depending on the bra, and she walks around with the last measured and largest E cup, if not bigger depending on the bra. I don't want them that big, but an average C cup would be great. Story 22. My dad is 6 feet tall. My mom is 5 feet tall. I am 5 feet 3 inches tall. If my scoliosis had been treated, I could have been 5 feet 6 inches tall, the perfect middle ground. Story 23. My mom's eyes are not brown, green, or yellow, but she has all 3 colors in hers. They are so unique. Story 24. My mom has long, graceful fingers. My dad had large fingers. Today, my fingers are short, and I wear a size 10 ring. Story 25. Either my mom's hazel eyes or my dad's steel blue eyes. Instead, I have the standard brown eyes of the rest of my mom's family. Story 26. My dad's brown eyes, black hair, and height. Basically my whole dad. None of us siblings look like him. Only mom resembles him. Story 27. I'm the opposite, to be honest. While there are no features I wanted that did not get passed down, there are several features they did pass down that I wish I did not have. These are poor near vision, wide feet, wide shoulders, and a moderately arched lower back. Story 28. I wish I were taller, which is funny because I am nearly 6 feet tall, but unfortunately, I am the shortest in my entire immediate family. Story 29. My mom has thick, curly hair and pretty eyelashes. My brother inherited those. I have my dad's thin, fine, board-straight hair. It does not hold a curl either. I cannot do anything with it. Story 30. My dad's hair is a dirty blonde, but mine is dark brown. He has beautiful blue eyes, and mine are brown. He is skinny, and I am average. My mom has a beautiful singing voice, but I do not. Dad has dyslexia, and I have a small learning disability. My dad is 5 feet 6 inches tall, and I am 5 feet 3 inches tall. Story 31. Cheekbones from either side, my hollow cheeks. My cheekbones don't really show. I'm 25 years old, and people tell me I look 18. I think it's because of my cheeks. Also, my mom has smooth skin. My skin feels rough sometimes and has expression lines. Story 32. My mom has beautiful, thick, curly hair. My brother has the pretty hair. I have my dad's thin, straight hair, and my dad is bald now. Story 33. My mom has a tiny waist, although you cannot tell because of her massive hips, which unfortunately she passed on to me, but not the waist. Also, I wish my mom gave me her vision because she did not need glasses until her late 50s. She had perfect vision forever. Story 34. My mom has large breasts and hairless legs and arms. My dad looks like a werewolf, and I am small and flat-chested. Story 35. My dad is very healthy and in shape without any particular exercise regimen at the age of 79. Anyone would be lucky to look as good, honestly. He still has another 35 years before I know how well that was passed on to me, though. Story 36. Not having food allergies. I am the only person in my family who has them, and they are anaphylactic too. Story 37. Everyone in my family has blue eyes, which is nice. Mine, in particular, are a really vibrant blue that gets comments periodically. However, everyone else in my family wears glasses, and I have always wanted them. I was not blessed with nearsightedness, alas. Story 38. My mom had the prettiest hazel eyes and freckles. I always wished I had inherited those. Also, on both sides of my family, most of my cousins have curly blonde hair. I used to be so jealous of them. Story 39. My grandma had beautiful dark curly hair. The pretty long curls never frizzed, unlike an 80s perm. Naturally, my brother inherited it. I have thin, straight hair. Story 40. My dad and I looked like fraternal twins. The one gene I didn't get from his side was height. I'm short like my mom. Then again, I have a large chest, which I think makes up for a little height. Story 41. My father was disappointed when his vision deteriorated to 20/20ths in his 60s. I have needed glasses since middle school. Story 42. My grandfather had lovely brown eyes. My mother did not inherit the brown eyes gene, so neither did my brother or I. My brother and I did not inherit much from the good looks lottery. I do not know if it is a consolation, but it is noticeable that we share some features and look like siblings. Story 43. They could have slipped me a bit of the breast gene. Literally, every woman in my family on both sides has D cups and up, and I am sitting here with B cups. I do not even own any bras with underwire because I have nothing to fill them with. Sports bra life. Story 44. Height. 41 and the oldest child. I'm stuck at 5 feet 1.5 inches. My siblings and my nephew are all taller than me. There is also the possibility that my 7-year-old will be taller than me when he hits puberty. His father and his family are all over 5 feet 9 inches. Story 45. My mom has pretty teeth and light brown eyes. My mom is really beautiful. Her eyes are a perfect light brown that looks golden when sunlight hits them, plus long lashes. Her nose is the most perfect one I have seen. Her teeth are perfectly aligned and of perfect size. But I have inherited everything from my father. Small eyes with no lashes, not aligned teeth, and even the manly veiny hands. Story 46. Strong teeth from my father's side. I am in my 40s and only have 6 bottom teeth left. I have been wearing dentures since my early 30s. Story 47. I am the shortest of my sisters at 5 feet 7 inches. My oldest sister is 5 feet 11 inches. I kind of wish I were taller. Oh yes, my mom and sister have green eyes. That is so pretty. Story 48. Their height. Dad is 5 feet 8 inches, and mom is 5 feet 4 inches. They are not very tall but still taller than me, as I am 5 feet 0 inches. I would like to be able to reach the top shelf without standing on my tiptoes. Story 49. Blue eyes. Strong jaw. Thick hair. Bigger breasts. I'm not saying I had large breasts, but slightly more than a handful would be nice. Story 50. Basically, I have none of the indigenous characteristics. I look like a total white person. My dad looks like everyone's native dad. Story 51. My mom was a beautiful, fiery, petite Italian woman with gorgeous skin, dark hair, and eyes. Bombshell. I am the spitting image of my dad, who, while objectively not a bad-looking guy, I look nothing like my mother and am the complete opposite. Long face with large features, sandy hair, and green eyes. Tall with big hands and feet. It has taken me into my 30s to really be okay with my looks and just accept it. I sometimes see photos of my mom and think, damn, I couldn't even get a little bit of those genes. My sister was the lucky one. My brother and I look like dad clones. Story 52. I got my dad's boobs, areolas and all, and I'm not mad at it. They are nice. I do wish, though, that I had my mom's legs. She had fantastic long legs. Mine are short and I have cankles. Can't win them all. Story 53. My dad has a good body structure. I have half of my dad's bulky chest and thighs, and the other half my mom's slender frame. Also, my dad has the ability to gain and hold weight. Story 54. My grandmother was a full-blood Jamaican maroon with waist-length gleaming black hair, which she did not pass on. Story 55. My mother has no allergies and rarely, if ever, gets sick. She also tans very easily. I am allergic to many foods and everything outdoors, and I am very pale and can never tan. Story 56. I wish I had my father's black hair and his perfect vision. I am glad I did not inherit his fur allergy, though. Story 57. My dad can grow a thick, full-faced beard with braids and jewelry. Think of a dwarf from Lord of the Rings. It is gorgeous. My beard is patchy and thin. I can grow a goatee, but that's it. Story 58. Dark skin and hair. My mother had the most beautiful olive complexion and dark brunette hair. I inherited fair skin and light reddish-brown hair instead from my father's side. Of course, when she was growing up poor in the Deep South, fair skin was idealized. As the daughter of a sharecropper who had to work out in the fields, it was a battle to avoid tanning darker. Now here I am, decades later, wishing for what she had and did not want. Life has a way, does it not? Story 59. My dad has hazel eyes and type 2B hair. My mom has attractive breasts. I have brown eyes, type 4C hair, and I am taller than both of them with a moderate breast size. Story 60. My dad's forest green eyes and dark, almost black hair. His eyes are such a rare color. I wish I had inherited that instead of mom's blonde hair and brown eyes. Story 61. Striking hazel eyes. I cannot describe it any other way. Very light green with vivid reddish brown. Indoors, it is almost unsettling. Also, large breasts. Women from both sides are at least a C cup. Ibarelli fil a B cup. Story 62. Both of my parents have virtually no body hair and no body odor. I am quite hairy and smelly. However, I am naturally slender with lean muscle just like them. Story 63. Thicker hair. My whole family has thick hair, but I got my dad's and now it's thinning. I am presuming depression is also partly the reason why I am balding as a 20-year-old female. Story 64. My dad has 2 toes on both feet that are webbed together. It is what would be your index and middle finger. I only have it on my left toe, and I want it on the right one as well. When I go swimming with only one webbed toe, I have to constantly swim at an angle to the left because only my left toe has it. This means only my left foot is better at swimming, and if I swim straight, I go in a circle. Story 65. Fiery red hair. Instead, I got strawberry blonde. Literally everyone except for me and my little sister got it, and we have always been jealous. Story 66. My father's blue eyes, but I am not completely upset that I did not get them. I think they would have gone really well with my dark curly hair. I have green eyes, which I am not sure whom I got them from, as my mother has hazel eyes. Story 67. My dad has really good beard genetics. He can effortlessly grow a thick, full beard. I have uneven peach fuzz that is just dark enough where it needs to be shaved daily, or else I look like a high schooler who thinks his patchy peach fuzz is a beard. Story 68. I inherited my dad's poor eyesight and did not get either of my parents' ability to avoid sunburn. My dad had thick, almost black hair that did not start turning gray until his 40s. I have my mom's mid-brown, somewhat thin hair and have been going gray since I was about 18. Additionally, I am the only woman in the family with a small cup size depending on my weight, while everyone else has at least a large cup size. Because I have very wide hips, this makes my figure appear uneven. Story 69. Very specifically, my maternal grandfather's side of the family has dark coloring. We are all white, but they have tan skin and dark hair. My mother inherited the good genes, but I took after the redheads. I only wear black clothes because black hair looks good on me. Story 70. My mother has gorgeous curly hair. My 2 siblings have it too, but I inherited my father's straight hair. At least it is thick, so I have that similarity to my mother's hair. Story 71. The ability to see my prescription is not horrible, but I dislike it nonetheless and I have a squint as well. Story 72. My mom's ability to stay thin no matter what she eats, how much she eats, or how little she exercises. If I just look at the wrong food, I gain weight. Story 73. My dad has sallow skin and green eyes, and my mother is pale as a ghost with blue eyes. My brothers, my sons, and I all have my mother's skin and blue eyes, but my lucky daughter has my dad's sallow skin and green eyes. So jealous. Story 74. My granddad's ability to tan. I inherited the English peasant genes from my grandma, and I have 2 colors, pale and red. Every single person in my family tans except me. Story 75. My dad's skin would tan beautifully. I took after my mom. I burn, turn pink, then pale white again. Thank goodness for sunscreen, self-tanners, and body makeup. Story 76. I have inherited good physical qualities, but I wish I had more of my mother's personality. She was warm, outgoing, and friendly. I have social anxiety and am far warmer than I seem. Story 77. I always wanted to be taller. My father and grandfather are 6 feet tall, and my mother's side of the family is mostly 5 feet 6 inches. I inherited genes from that side and never grew taller than 5 feet 6 inches, which bothers me. Not because being short is bad, I have never felt inferior because of it, but because being taller would make it easier to reach high shelves, especially with my bad shoulders. I have to use tools to reach the top shelves in my cabinets, which feels undignified. If I were just half a foot taller, that would be a more ideal height to reach what I currently cannot. Story 78. My mom had the most incredible blue eyes, like ice. She was Portuguese and could tan. I inherited the English genes and am as pale as can be. Story 79. I inherited my mom's large breasts but did not get a supporting frame or back structure. I am too afraid to undergo a breast reduction due to the possibility of scarring. Story 80. My dad has the gene common in some Asian populations that reduces body odor from his underarms. None of us children inherited this trait, but we all ended up with his smelly feet. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.